Welcome back to Blackthornprod. I'm Noah, an indie game developer, and about 2 weeks ago I released my first little commercial game on Steam, The Dreadful Whispers. Until the 5th of September, which was launch day, I hadn't made any money with my games. It was just a large collection of small, free-to-play browser games, usually made during game jams, so in a couple days. But making those taught me a lot, and I used that knowledge and skill to create The Dreadful Whispers, a scary, weird world that has about 9 out of 10 on Steam, which is brilliant, and yes, has earned me a bit of cash. So let's dive into some juicy stats. First of all, some basic facts. Steam, which is the platform I launched my game on, is awesome. There's hundreds of thousands of games, massive sales, and buying and playing a game is easy peasy. It's a dream for players, a lot less so for developers like myself. Steam takes a large 30% cut of the total revenue you make, so if you make $1,000 for example, you're really just earning $700. So on the 4th of September, one day before the game launched, I had roughly 5,000 wishlists. Anyone can wishlist your game, and if they do so, when the game releases or is on sale, they'll receive an email telling them so. Basically, wishlists are very important. It more or less represents the number of interested players you have. At launch, I would be selling the game for roughly $10. The dream would be 50% of people that wishlisted my game would buy it. So that would be 2,500 players. Multiply that by 10 and I would earn $25,000. Pretty crazy. I would consider the game to be a financial success if I made $27,500 in 1 year. That's about $3,500 per month of work. And remember, it took me about 8 months to create The Dreadful Whispers. I wasn't full-time on the job, many days would be spent working on videos or taking part in game jams, and sometimes I would spend a week or two procrastinating or feeling quite unmotivated to work on TDW. So I probably could have made and finished this game in 5 months if I was always motivated and hyper-focused on this one project. But let's face it, we're human and everyone will slow down and not be in top-notch shape 100% of the time. Anyway, on the 5th of September, I hit the release app button, and in one day I made, drumrolls, a bit more than $4,000. Again, Steam takes a share, so I'm really just earning $3,500. Still awesome, of course. That makes about 500 copies of the game sold on the first day. Launch day is usually when developers make the most cash, so I was of course expecting things to slow down, but no, on day 2 I made $20,000, just kidding. I made about $1,000. Not massive, but damn, still felt great. 2 days later I had made $600, so I'd reached about 5,700 gross revenue, which is roughly 700 players. To my delight, new players were still streaming in throughout that whole first week, so I ended up with $6,700 in gross revenue by the end of week 1. And during the second week, I made about $1,000, which is awesome. I mean, if I earn $1,000 every week with my game, I'll be pretty wealthy in a year. But of course, I highly doubt things will stay like this for very long. These 2 to 3 days have been pretty quiet, with only between 10 and 15 copies sold. So to recap, since launch day, which was 2 weeks ago, I've made $7,700 in gross revenue, which is close to 1,000 players. If you remove Steam's 30% share, I have $6,400 I can actually spend. But of course the game will be on sale from time to time, I'll still mention it in future videos, so I trust The Dreadful Whispers will be a nice, small source of passive income during this year and the future. I think now is a good time to also mention that the game has just launched on itch.io. For those of you who don't know, itch.io is where I've uploaded all of my small free games. It's a fantastic platform. The only reason I put The Dreadful Whispers on Steam first was because a lot more people were more comfortable playing there than on itch. And there's also a much larger potential audience. But as promised, if you prefer itch.io and wants to play TDW there, you can do so now. The link is in the description. Cherry on the cake, me and Dave Allen get 100% of the revenue on itch.io. That's amazing and the best way to support Blackthornprods. Anyway, back to stats. you'll notice here that for now, about 600 people who had the game on their wish lists actually bought the Dreadful Whispers. And now I have almost 6.5 thousand, so I'm far away from the 50% I was unrealistically hoping for. But hey, it's still nice to see this rising number of wish lists, and who knows, those might turn into sales in the future. Less pleasant are the refunds. At the time of recording, there's been 75, which is about $750 earned and then snatched away. Steam has a pretty generous refund policy. If players play a game for less than 2 hours, they can refund it. The Dreadful Whispers is a pretty short game and can rather easily be completed in less than 2 hours, considering players aren't interested in discovering the different endings, alternate levels and secrets. So I guess some players are a bit low in cash, or maybe didn't enjoy the experience enough, so asked for refunds. A bit frustrating of course, but it can't be helped. Well, it could be. I could make a longer, more challenging game, or one with a lot more replayability and randomness to lower this refund rate. So what did I learn? Well, first of all, that making money selling games is entirely possible, fun and super exciting. But secondly, becoming a millionaire or earning even 100,000 is very challenging. Let's face it, for now the Dreadful Whispers hasn't earned me that much. Not enough anyway to justify the amount of work I put in. But hey, let's not talk too fast, it's only been 2 weeks after all. I'm just one guy, no family to look after, and I'm earning money with YouTube ads, Patreon and the Udemy courses I made with my brother. So there was absolutely no pressure for me to make any large sum of money with the Dreadful Whispers. Though it's nice to fantasize about becoming rich with a first game, it's not likely to happen. I have learned a lot, and the Dreadful Whispers is a good game. It's unique and interesting and I'm proud of it, but of course I can improve so much more. What else have I learned? Well, that Steam is tough. The Dreadful Whispers wasn't featured anywhere significant, as I said in the last video. I have no clue how much more money I would have earned had I been at the top of new and trending, for example, but I guess I'll just find out with my next game and share that with you here in the future. Thirdly, maybe running a pretty successful YouTube channel isn't enough for marketing. I bet all of my chances on my YouTube audience buying and playing the game, and I was hoping that initial exposure would get Steam to highlight the Dreadful Whispers somewhere important and bring in new players, but as you saw, not even 1,000 copies sold, despite my devlog videos getting about 20,000 views each. Maybe devlogs on YouTube is enough if the game is absolutely crazy exciting and I get lots of people retweeting and sharing, but I'll probably also make a much bigger effort in contacting press, let's players, going to events to show off my game, and of course setting up the store page much more in advance to build up more hype and wish lists. But the main thing is that I just need to improve my craft. Not even 1% of my total YouTube subscriber count bought the game. That's a pretty clear indication that maybe the trailer and game I created wasn't massively exciting from the outside. I stand by the fact that I'm proud of this world and the overall reviews confirm that. But these are golden supporters and the average player will need more hype, intrigue and desire before willingly spending his cash, and that's completely normal. And finally, what have I learned? Well, that the rewards at the end, like money and reviews, feel nice. Money is of course important, but please don't make games for money. As you see, it's hard work and payments most of the time won't be huge. The main reward is the journey, as cliche as that may sound. You need to really enjoy the process or it's not worth it. As I've said in almost every video recently, I've learned a great deal creating this game. Not everyone enjoyed it, a staggering majority did, and I'll promise you this, I'm going to put all this experience to good use. To conclude, The Dreadful Whispers is a critical success with the lovely reviews people are writing. It's a massive success in terms of what I learned by creating it, and yeah, for now it's a modest financial success. Still pretty far away from my initial objective, but that's fine. With that said, thanks so much for watching. If you're curious to see what I'll do next, please subscribe. Remember, The Dreadful Whispers has just launched on itch.io for Windows. Consider being one of the first to explore my world on that platform. Alright, big thank you to my patrons. Thanks to their financial support, every month I have some stability and I didn't get grey hairs stressing about money with The Dreadful Whispers. Stay tuned everyone, cheers.